Good evening. My name is Senior Airman Shannon Banks, and today I will be talking about Technical Sergeant Devon Smith. Just a quick overview of the few things that I will be talking about that pertain to Sergeant Smith are his roles in the Air Force, his level of professionalism and how they embody the profession of arms, and his contribution to the team. So the member's role, Technical Sergeant Smith, I believe he's been in 14 years. He's a 14-year active duty member, and also a fellow firefighter like myself, who is currently at Travis Air Force Base, California, which happens to be the same base where I started my beautiful military career. Sergeant Smith's current role is a firefighter crew chief whose responsibility is to basically be in charge of his crew and whatever vehicle that they have assigned for that day. So if it's a fire engine, he has to ensure the safety of his crew, whatever medical emergency we're on, and he basically calls the shots for anything that goes on and relates it to our incident commander. So he's the boss, he oversees and he calls the shots on the scenes and levels it up to our chief. Level of professionalism, I chose to do my assignment on Sergeant Smith, Technical Sergeant Smith, who was a staff sergeant at the time when I arrived to my base, because he embodies what a true leader to me is supposed to represent. When I first arrived to Travis, he took me under his wing. He was a mentor to me, and he showed me how to not only better myself when it came to my Air Force career, but also my personal life. Even though I wasn't his troop at the time, he always gave me tips and direction on how to succeed, such as taking college credits or, classes, CLEPing, Dante, putting me in for awards packages, working with me hard to get BTZ airmen, sometimes even staying late after work to help me with my upgrade training, even though he wasn't even my supervisor at the time. Just putting in those extra hours of work, in my opinion, is an example of what a leader should be and showing leadership in profession of arms. Sergeant Smith's contribution to the team, as I said, he was always doing extra work, even though it wasn't, like I said, I wasn't his troop at the time. It didn't matter. He just took gratitude out of helping out one of the airmen who needed help. He also told me a story about how he was in London around 2007. He was driving home from work and he could see a car swerving recklessly in his rearview mirror, and they kept getting closer and closer. He just figured it was a drunk driver or someone just trying to get around him. So he tried to play it safe and got in the safety lane or the slower lane and let the driver pass by. And as the driver began to pass by, another car from the opposite lane swerved because the reckless driver behind him made him swerve and go off the road, lose control and go off road into a small lake. Without thinking, Sergeant Smith pulled over and he ran to the shoulder where the car went off road and hopped out of his car and began to yell, "Hey, who's there? Anybody? Is anybody there? Do you need help? Are you hurt?" And there was no answer, but he continued to walk towards where the car went off road, and before he knew it, he found himself submerged in water along with the car, and the car was already underneath, so he had no choice but to go underneath. He went underwater to try to unlock or open the driver's door, but it wouldn't budge. So he had to come back up for air and then went back under to try again, and went to the passenger side to try that door. But thankfully, that door, the window was down, which allowed Sergeant Smith to actually pull that passenger out and get him to land safely and wait for help to arrive. It wasn't till later that Sergeant Smith found out who the driver of that vehicle was, who happened to be a Royal Air Force Chief Commander, and He received an award and many awards and decorations for his heroic efforts, including getting the opportunity to meet the Queen and Prime Minister, and also won Airman of the Year. And that is why I chose and I look up to Sergeant Smith today. Thank you.